Yeah, I think, like he said, he has the momentum, and yeah, he faced some good guys, and he won. He took them out, but like I said, I'm a whole different animal. So let's
Feel the same as you did right when you left us, or is there a different dimension to you now?
There's definitely a different dimension because I feel better. I feel much better. I feel faster. I feel fitter. Yeah, it's just I don't know. This whole recovery process has brought me to a whole different dimension. So yeah, let's see how he.
Listen, it's a fighter, you know. I feel on the serious for this fight. I prepare the 100% discipline, control. But 23 in May, we look great.
Everybody felt the tension immediately. The second the press conference started, the energy looked completely different on both sides. Rico Verhoeven looked fired up, serious, aggressive, like a man trying to prove something huge.
Trained with both of them. I know them inside out. So, but for now, the focus is on on this weekend.
But Oleksandr Usyk, completely calm, relaxed face, small smile, no emotion at all. And honestly, that made the situation even scarier.
Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit. 6 months, yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you organization who do this. Thank you Rico. Thank you Rico team. For me, it's a challenge. A lot of people say, why you choose a not boxer? It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, you know, please, one time I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you must, you have to boxing like this. You must boxing like this. I say, okay. Now I do what I need. Thing is, listen, I love more boxing. My wife, yes, but it's first. It's first. Listen. I love boxing because it's an instrument, you know. God give me a chance about boxing. Boxing help me look for friends, team, a lot of people who now, you know, we friendly now. We help each other. Boxing. For me,
because this isn't just another fight. This is boxing versus kickboxing. One of the greatest kickboxers ever stepping into the ring against the best heavyweight boxer in the world. And already, fans are losing their minds over it. Some people think Rico has no chance.
If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
I mean, someone's saying it could change boxing forever if he wins, Rico. How does Rico go about trying to solve that puzzle of Usyk?
It'd be the greatest shock boxing's ever seen. If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history. Yeah.
Others believe his size and power could create one of the biggest shocks in combat sports history. But the most interesting thing? Usyk doesn't seem worried at all.
Very calculated, but yeah, when I connect, I connect. Like I said, there's a lot of weight behind these punches. So yeah, of course, within the kickboxing sport, I was used to just throwing the kicks and doing my thing. But now we get the opportunity to use the hands more. So Peter is like, oh, he's like crazy excited.
While everybody else is emotional, debating, arguing, questioning the fight, Usyk keeps acting like this is just another normal day. That confidence says everything. During the press conference, Rico made it clear he respects Usyk.
Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk. It will be the greatest victory in boxing history. Yes, it's the second professional fight on paper, but this is a guy whose second professional fight is against the undisputed unified former cruiserweight champion of the world, the current undisputed unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's undefeated. Nobody has been able to touch this guy. It's peak Oleksandr Usyk. He's just defeated a man who's 20 stone and 6'9" in Tyson Fury twice. He's just defeated a record machine in Daniel Dubois who was on the run of his life. This isn't a guy who's washed up having a comeback fight against somebody. This is a guy in his peak and in his prime. Put that into perspective. If Rico Verhoeven is to do this, it's off the Richter scale. This is bigger than Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. That's how big this is. This would be the greatest shock in boxing.
A lot. But at the same time, you could hear belief in his voice. Real belief. He explained that he's always been a calculated fighter. Not reckless. Not wild. He waits for the perfect moment. And then he said something that instantly changed the mood.
A fight I am a massive fan of, and now that I'm free, now that I can kind of, be more open about my opinions on this fight, I fucking hate this fight. I can't stand it. I understand the circus nature of it in terms of like big name kickboxer, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, coming in to fight an all-time great in the boxing space in his sport. We saw it with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The only difference there was, I think, more fans of Francis Ngannou, more of a what-if factor because of his punching power and because Fury was 550 pounds in that fight. Accurate, not even exaggerating. We got a masterpiece in terms of what Francis did to the current heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a little different because Oleksandr Usyk is a massively different operator than Tyson Fury. He is a far better technical boxer than anyone at heavyweight, and he isn't really susceptible to one-punch KO power the same way Fury is when he comes in out of shape and blubbery. Now, is there the off chance that Rico catches Oleksandr Usyk? Yeah, sure. I understand. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part.
When I connect, I connect. That line got everybody thinking. Because Rico's power is real. This man has dominated kickboxing for years. Massive frame, heavy punches, champion mentality, and zero fear. That's what makes him dangerous.
See how the monetization vehicle of this works, but Usyk wouldn't be doing this unless there's a reason for it. There must be a motivation behind it. It must be some form of derivative as to what happened between the various disciplines crossing over with Ngannou and...
Yeah, I think
most crossover fighters look nervous stepping into elite boxing.
Yeah.
Rico doesn't. He genuinely believes he can compete with Usyk. But then Usyk started talking. And suddenly,
feel the same as you did right when you left us, or is
because
there a different
instead of trash talk, Usyk stayed respectful and calm. He thanked
much
everybody.
Better. I feel faster. I
Rico
feel fitter.
dangerous.
But I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer, someone of some. Not to say I don't actually know much about Van Hoeven in terms of a kickboxer of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top.
and then explained why he accepted the fight.
Recovery
Basically
process
saying,
has brought me to a whole
for
different
once,
dimension. So
I want to do what I
let's
want.
see how he.
That line hit
Listen,
hard.
it's
Because
a
for
fighter, you
years,
know,
Usyk has done everything boxing demanded from him.
I feel on the serious
fights.
for this fight.
Tough opponents.
May prepare
Dangerous challenges.
100%.
Now he's choosing his own path.
Control. But,
And whether fans like it or
24.
Joke. This is nothing but a gimmick fight, and it's even more shameless considering the fact, one, it's on pay-per-view, and two, it's for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Does Rico Verhoeven, with his one win over a decade ago against the guy who was 0-5, deserve a world title shot? Answers on a postcard. Can you play the recorder? No. That's the answer. This is shocking. Shocking stuff from Oleksandr Usyk. This is Oleksandr Usyk picking money. Picking money over legacy.
He's earned that right. Remember who this is.
Great.
This is the same Usyk who beat Tyson Fury. Twice. The same man who made elite heavyweights look confused inside the ring. His footwork. His timing.
Oleksandr Usyk is the Rico Verhoeven in boxing.
Yeah.
So like he's been dominating for so long and in such phenomenal fashion. So I was like, wow, if we could do this, that would be like the cherry on the cake.
His ring IQ. Everything about him feels different. That's why so many analysts are struggling to imagine Rico actually beating him. Because physically, Rico looks terrifying. But boxing at Usyk's level is another world.
Some sort of active boxer, someone of some... Not to say I don't actually know much about Verhoeven in terms of a kickboxer, of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top.
Even Tony Bello admitted something important. He said if this was kickboxing, Usyk would be in serious trouble. But this is boxing. And according to Bellew, once Usyk figures out Rico's rhythm, the fight could completely change. That's what elite boxers do. They study you while fighting. Every movement. Every mistake. Every reaction. At first, Rico's style could definitely create problems. But if Usyk solves the puzzle, things could get ugly fast. Still, people keep saying the same thing. If Rico somehow wins, it becomes one of the greatest upsets ever. Not just a surprise. History. Because Usyk isn't washed. He's still elite. Still sharp. Still undefeated at the top. Which makes Rico's challenge feel almost impossible on paper. And that's why the boxing world is so divided right now.
Boxers of all time. I'm actually quite a big kickboxing fan, so I know quite a lot about him. I've watched a few of his fights over the years. They used to call him the Prince of Kickboxing, and then he elevated to the King of Kickboxing. I mean, he's a very, very, very good kickboxer who's got decent hands. I can't lie to you. It's funny, yeah?
Paul Smith questions the fairness and structure of the matchup.
Some fans love the fight. Others absolutely hate it. One analyst even called it a circus fight. Not because Rico lacks talent, but because active heavyweight contenders are waiting for title shots while a kickboxer suddenly jumps the line. That's where the criticism gets intense. Some people think boxing is becoming more entertainment than sport. Big crossover fights. Huge money events. Massive social media attention. And this fight fits perfectly into that conversation. Because commercially, this matchup is huge. The heavyweight king of boxing versus the king of kickboxing. That sells instantly. Casual fans love it. Combat sports fans can't stop debating it. And the hype keeps growing every single day. But through all the chaos, Usyk still refuses to show emotion. That's the craziest part. No pressure. No anger. No panic. Just calm confidence. And honestly, that mentality might be exactly why he keeps winning. Even Rico himself admitted Usyk has dominated boxing the same way he dominated kickboxing. Champion respecting champion. And that mutual respect makes this fight even more dangerous. Because nobody is underestimating anyone here. Usyk knows Rico is powerful. Rico knows Usyk is elite. Which means both men are taking this very seriously. And Usyk made that clear himself. He said this is not a joke to him. Not entertainment. A real fight. A real challenge. And deep down, he probably understands something important. In combat sports, one mistake changes everything. One clean shot. One bad exchange. 1 second of overconfidence. That's all it takes. Especially against someone as big and powerful as Rico Verhoeven. But the real question is this. Can kickboxing skills fully transfer into elite boxing? Because boxing is different. Different timing. Different movement. Different pressure. And against someone like Usyk, every tiny mistake gets punished. That's why this fight feels so fascinating. Nobody truly knows what happens once the pressure starts building inside the ring. Maybe Rico shocks the world. Maybe his power changes everything. Or maybe Usyk completely breaks him down round by round and reminds everybody why boxing mastery is on another level entirely. Right now, nobody knows. And that uncertainty is exactly why the entire combat sports world is watching.
Not really done much in boxing at all to warrant a shot at Oleksandr Usyk when there's a queue so big. And
Indeed.
You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing. The people who are sitting waiting for their shot in line are going to be fuming over this. Some would say, to counter their argument, Usyk's probably earned the right to have an easier one-up.
As the press conference continued, the reactions around this fight became even more divided. Some people were excited. Others looked genuinely frustrated, because the more they thought about this matchup, the crazier it sounded. A kickboxing legend stepping straight into a world title fight against the best heavyweight boxer alive. That's almost unheard of. And yet somehow, it's real. One of the biggest criticisms came from people questioning the fairness of it all. They pointed out that professional heavyweights have spent years fighting through rankings, risking everything for title opportunities. Meanwhile, Rico comes in from another sport and instantly lands one of the biggest fights possible. For traditional boxing fans, that feels wrong. And honestly, you can understand both sides, because Rico Verhoeven is absolutely an elite combat athlete, no question. But boxing fans keep asking the same thing. Does kickboxing greatness automatically deserve a heavyweight title shot in boxing? That debate exploded online immediately. Some fans loved the crossover energy. Others called it pure business. And maybe that's exactly what this fight really is. A massive global event. Because whether people support it or hate it, everybody is talking about it. And that's powerful. One analyst even suggested there has to be a huge financial motivation behind the fight. Because from a pure boxing perspective, Usyk already proved everything. He beat giants. He beat champions. He beat Tyson Fury twice. His legacy is already secure. So now people are wondering, why take this risk? Why fight a dangerous kickboxer instead of another ranked heavyweight? But then again, maybe that answer is simple. Because Usyk wants the challenge. And maybe because deep down, elite fighters get bored doing predictable things. Usyk has spent years solving boxing puzzles. Now he's facing something completely different. A giant kickboxing king with unusual movement, dangerous power, and nothing to lose. That makes this fight unpredictable. And unpredictability creates massive attention. But here's where things get really interesting. Even people criticizing the fight still respect Rico.
Listen, it's just a fight. It's a boxing fight. It's a normal. I prepare for this fight. Everything okay.
This fight brings together two completely different...
A lot. Because if you actually know kickboxing, then you know Rico Verhoeven is not some random celebrity fighter. This man ruled his sport for years. Some people even called him the king of kickboxing. That reputation wasn't given to him. He earned it. Fight after fight, year after year, dominating elite competition. And according to people close to combat sports, Rico actually has solid boxing skills too. Not elite boxing skills like Usyk, but good enough to create danger, especially with his size and physical strength. That's why this fight keeps pulling fans back in. Because no matter how skilled Usyk is, heavyweights only need one moment, one opening, one clean punch, and suddenly, history changes forever. But still, most experts believe Usyk's experience gives him a huge advantage. Because boxing at the highest level is about more than power. It's about timing,